Welcome back. Hope you're having a fabulous day. We all navigate a complex world of human connections. And the quality of those relationships, whether they're family, friends, colleagues, your partner, often determine the quality of our lives. So, building and maintaining healthy relationships, it's a skill set. And that skill set equates to intelligence. It relates to how well we understand ourselves and the dynamics of our relationships. Ready to gain some insights that can transform your connections? Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's do this.
Nobody is ever authentic. It's a myth, it's bullshit, in fact, and it kind of is annoying. Because to be a human being is to be social and is to wear a mask, is to be an actor. As I said, nobody ever tells you exactly what they think. That person that you think is so authentic is actually creating the effect of authenticity. They know how to act like that, but they're not saying or doing exactly what's going on in their mind. So understand that we're all actors. And from a very early age, as children, we are learning to play a part, how to please people, how to make them like us, how to say the right things. So the person that seems to be authentic is actually playing that part of being authentic.
Carl Jung once said that human beings rarely live from their true nature. Instead, they live through a mask that allows them to be accepted, to be loved, and to be welcomed.
Self-love is one of those phrases that everyone talks about and almost no one knows exactly how to do it. I'm Melissa DeVars Thompson. I'm a licensed couples therapist. People think that self-love is supposed to feel like confidence 100% of the time. Like you wake up one day and suddenly you feel good about yourself. And that's not how it works. Some people may feel that way, but most of us, that's not how it works. Most of the time, self-love can feel awkward. It can feel unfamiliar. Sometimes it can feel uncomfortable or boastful. Because if you grew up questioning yourself, working hard to be accepted, or measuring your worth by how a relationship was going, you cannot just flip a switch and decide that you feel different about yourself. You can try to think better thoughts, or you could tell yourself to be more positive. But real self-love is not a mindset hack. It's something that you build slowly, the same way you build trust in a relationship. And it comes from showing up for yourself, or from keeping small promises to yourself, or letting yourself have needs instead of overriding them. And this matters even more when you are in a relationship, because no partner can create your sense of worth for you. They can support it, they can reflect it, but they cannot build it. And that is work we each have to do on our own. And it does not happen overnight. Trust me, it happens over time and is a continual effort through reflection, through being willing to notice when you're being hard on yourself and choosing something different again and again. And self-love is less about feeling amazing and more about learning to treat yourself with the same patience that you are trying to offer someone else. It's a practice. It's not a destination. So if you want to understand how your relationship patterns and your sense of self connect show up, check the link in my bio. I've got some more resources and tools there for you.
So, they say you can gauge your level of self-love by those times you say yes when in fact you really want to say no.
If your body relaxes when someone leaves the room, that's not disrespect. That's data. Your nervous system keeps receipts even when your mind tries to rationalize. You can call it grace, you can call it patience, you can call it being the bigger person. But if you consistently feel anxious, small, guarded, or on edge around someone, that's not a single moment. That's a pattern. Discernment is not bitterness. It's when you stop arguing with what your body has already learned. It's when you say, this doesn't align with who I'm becoming. Not because you hate them, not because you want revenge, but because peace feels different than tension. And your body knows the difference. Love does not require you to abandon yourself. Forgiveness does not require access. And maturity means you can tolerate being misunderstood while still honoring your internal reality. Healthy relationships nourish you. They don't exhaust you. If your body relaxes when they leave, maybe it's time to ask why. And that is my message for the day. I hope you're having a great one.
Okay, we got to talk about something that makes people really uncomfortable, but y'all know I'm not the one to sugarcoat it. Choosing yourself is not a vibe, it's a decision. And most people don't make it because they're waiting for it to feel polite. You keep thinking that choosing yourself is going to look like some big emotional announcement, like you're going to feel calm, confident, fully healed, morally justified, and then you're going to move. That's cute. It's not how the fuck it works, though. Choosing yourself is going to feel really rude at first. It's going to feel like not replying right away. It'll feel like saying no without sending a follow-up paragraph immediately afterwards, because it's disappointing to people who benefit from you staying smaller. That's why your nervous system freaks out when you get close to it. Not because it's wrong, just because it's unfamiliar. You already know what choosing yourself would look like. You know the boundary, you know the move, you know the behavior you keep justifying because it's easier than confronting it. You're not confused, you're hesitant, and hesitation is fine. Staying there is not. Choosing yourself isn't about becoming selfish, it's about becoming decisive. It's about stopping the constant internal committee meeting where every part of you gets a vote except the one who's actually living the consequence. Right now, you're strong enough to handle the discomfort that comes with choosing yourself. You weren't always. You are now. That's the difference. You don't need to burn bridges. You don't need to make a speech. You don't need to explain your growth to people who stopped growing themselves years ago. You just move differently. You stop negotiating with situations that drain you. You stop volunteering for roles that cost you more than they give back. Stop shrinking to keep things familiar. Not loud, your energy, not cruel, just grounded, unapologetically. You're not choosing yourself instead of others. You're choosing yourself so you don't disappear while serving others. And once you do it a few times, something really interesting happens. Your life starts responding faster. People adjust or fall away. And opportunities stop needing to be chased because clarity is attractive. Boundaries are actually magnetic. And self-respect, that changes the entire room without you raising your voice. So choose yourself. Not dramatically, not angrily, deliberately. Don't be surprised when things start lining up like they were waiting for you to stop asking first. Okay, I'm done. But go and move like you mean it.
I hope today that you get an opportunity to choose you, to choose yourself in a way that you haven't chosen yourself before.
Do you want to test somebody's emotional intelligence? Try telling them that they hurt your feelings. Now, the reasoning for this is not what you think, because what matters is not their perfect response. It's their willingness to sit with your discomfort instead of running from the problem. See, people who care about your well-being, they're going to slow down. They're going to listen. They're going to ask you to explain, and they're going to try to understand the impact that they've had, even if it stings their pride. But people who don't are going to rush to defend themselves. They're going to minimize your experience, or they're going to make the conversation all about your sensitivity and all about them. So pay attention to whether they're trying to protect the relationship or just protect their ego, because that difference tells you everything.
I always tell people, if somebody does something once to you, they do something that's bad or they're mean or they yell at you, then they go, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. That isn't me. You know, if something came over me. I want you to realize that that is never the case. It's always part of a pattern. People never, ever do something just once. They will do it again and again and again. It reveals something about them, but it also reveals something about you.
They say when an abuser starts a new relationship, they don't become a new person for that new love interest. They will eventually show their true colors. It's sad, but it's true.
If a narcissist destroyed your life and your reputation and then smeared you either privately or publicly, here's what you can do about it. First, don't engage. Narcissists are actually betting on your reaction and trying to explain away their fuckery. And if a person's never been through narcissistic abuse or doesn't understand coercive control, then it's just gonna make you look unstable and crazy, and that furthers the narcissist narrative that you're the problem. Next, don't change a damn thing about the way you're sharing your story, the way you're recovering, the way that you're rebuilding your identity, or the way that you're leveling up. Inevitably, the narcissist goes on and they monkey branch to just repeat the same cycle of abuse over and over and over. So over time, people are going to see the difference. They're going to see that you leveled up, you rebuilt your identity, and that those kind of people never have access to you again. They'll see the narcissist just repeated their pattern. More importantly, most of these people know, and that's why we call them enablers and flying monkeys. Your job now is just to rebuild and to follow me for more recovery strategies that actually work.
How should you respond to someone who's disrespectful towards you? I don't think there is a single best definitive way to respond to disrespect. I know some people walk away choosing to ignore it while others confront it directly but remain composed in the process. And then there are those who lash out, demanding respect as if it can be taken back from someone. I think the real question here is, what's your goal? Because if your goal is to gain the respect of the person who disrespected you, you'll need a vastly different strategy than if your goal is to retaliate or to put them in their place. The truth is, most people think they're fighting for respect from others, but what they're really wrestling with is their own wounded pride. Disrespect doesn't actually strip you of respectability. It doesn't take away your intrinsic worth. What it does is challenge your self-respect, making you feel like you've lost something. But respect isn't something that can be taken from you. It's something you give away the moment you allow your dignity to slip while fighting to prove your worth. See, many people approach disrespectful interactions like battles to be won, but they fail to understand that there's nothing to win, only plenty to lose. All I'm saying is this: no matter how you choose to respond, don't lose your self-respect trying to demand respect from someone who didn't show you respect in the first place. You aren't who they say you are, but you are who you show yourself to be.
What you tolerate will eventually turn into resentment, because stretching your boundaries and allowing cycles to repeat isn't patience or love. It's self-abandonment. Your nervous system is keeping score, and every time you override yourself, your self-trust erodes. Resentment builds where honesty is withheld, not because you're unloving, but because something within you knows you're not being met.
Have you ever realized that the only relationships people obsess over are the ones that involve a person who's not fully available to you? Think about it. When someone is inconsistent, your brain starts to turn them into like a puzzle, like a love challenge. Now, you have to ask yourself, because when we're in this situation, we tend to obsess on the other person, but what does this actually say about you? What does this say about how you see love and relationships? It says that you seem to believe that love is something that has to be earned and not simply given or received. That affection is a kind of game, and whoever has the highest score wins. That intimacy can be bartered, that acceptance can be bought, that seeing each other as you really are can be a threat. Because in the game of love, the only ones who win are the ones who refuse to play.
That brings me to the topic of love bombing. When you enter a relationship and they are just saying everything's so perfect and they tell you you're all they think about. And the first time there's a disagreement, they turn into a monster. Those are the ones that will typically, throughout the relationship, they'll give you affection and then they pull it back. Give affection, pull it back. And that creates what's called a trauma bond, especially if there's a factor of emotional, mental, or even physical abuse involved. But it's not recognizable at the beginning of a relationship because everything in you is absorbing the attention, the desires of that other person. It's a great feeling, but be careful next time. If they start doing that right away, step back a bit and ask yourself, is it love bombing?
The highest form of emotional maturity is taking 100% personal responsibility for your reactions, your responses, and what you think and feel. Right? You don't say things like, you made me feel, or you caused me to do this, or I did this because you did this. Right? That's the stuff of emotional immaturity, is what that is. Emotional maturity says, and you're strong enough, right? You're strong enough to take a step back and go, I am owning my part of this. I take 100% responsibility for my own reactions and responses. That is the highest form of emotional maturity. And that builds stronger relationships. When you have two people working together who are both doing that, that's when you build a healthy relationship.
One of the cruelest things I've ever seen in the dynamics of a romantic relationship is when one partner cheats and then they come back and tell the current partner, you made me cheat. It was because of you. You didn't give me enough love. You didn't give me enough attention. If you ever encounter such a person, honey, please run like hell out of that situation. Leave them.
Here's why you can have genuine warmth for somebody, and then once clarity kicks in, you suddenly can't unsee it or unfeel it. You have the ick for them. In the beginning, your brain fills in the blanks with optimism, pattern matching, and you're not lying to yourself. Your bonding in your system is scanning for safety and familiarity. So you connect to their potential, their emotional tone, and the moments where things just feel calm. That warmth is real, but it is incomplete. Then as time goes on, you get to see them, their patterns for who they really are. And now it's not just your brain, but your body is saying, oh, I really see them now. How they avoid accountability, how shallow their self-awareness is, or even how they cannot hold emotional depth, even though they have emotional range, because they are limited and they are at capacity. So then the warmth dies out, because now you're not matching energy or potential anymore, you're matching reality. You feel repelled because your system is rejecting the version of you who used to tolerate breadcrumbs, confusion, or misalignment. That's just straight up self-respect. Where you used to make justifications or explain their behavior away, now you're able to see that same behavior and it feels less like admiration and more like emotional immaturity, unsafe, draining, and limited. That ick is you finally saying, I have no obligation here. I get to choose who gets access to me, and I'm going to choose people who choose me.
Some of you are not living people. You are addicted to being needed, not metaphorically, but chemically. You get a little dopamine hit every time someone panics, and you get to swoop in like an emotional Batman with a Google Calendar. You don't show up because you're generous. You show up because usefulness feels safer than being seen. Needed is a job. Wanted is a risk. So you pick the job. You overfunction like a cracked out room bug, bouncing off of walls, cleaning messes that aren't yours, announcing nothing. You fix problems no one assigned to you and anticipate disasters like a psychic that only predicts inconvenience. You carry everyone else's emotional luggage and then wonder why your arms are numb, and you call that love. You've turned yourself into the emotional Swiss Army knife of every room that you're involved in. Your blade is out, your screwdriver is ready, your corkscrew is deployed, and then you're shocked when no one treats you like a human, because nobody hugs a multi-tool. They just reach for it when something breaks. Being needed gives you leverage. Being wanted means standing there, empty-handed, hoping someone still reaches for you. So you stay busy, you stay helpful, you stay indispensable. You answer texts like you're on call for the universe. You solve shit before it even finishes becoming a problem. You step in so fast, nobody ever gets a chance to choose you because you've already volunteered yourself like a Labrador with anxiety. And then that shit hits you in the teeth. They don't miss you. They miss the service. They miss the version of you that never said no, never rested, never asked for anything back. That's not connection. That's a subscription plan, auto renew on your nervous system without a cancel button. You are not an emotional power strip. You're not a human spare tire. You don't get to be a generator people kick on when their light flickers and then shut off when the lights come back. Pulling back from that's going to feel wrong, like you're committing a crime against your identity. Your body's going to freak out because it's been trained that love equals labor and rest has to be abandonment. That's the detox. Let someone else drop the ball. Let them drop their own. Let the silence hang there like that weird smell that nobody wants to acknowledge. And the dynamic will wobble because it's a Jenga tower and you're the missing piece. If they stay when you stop performing, then that's real. If they disappear, shit's gonna fucking hurt. But at least now you know they were actually attached to you. You're not here to earn love through exhaustion. You're not here to be valuable only when you're useful. You are not here to set yourself on fire so everyone else can feel warm and then complain that there's smoke. Stop asking if they need you. Start watching who sticks around when you're not doing tricks.
Japanese couples have extremely stable relationships because of one rule almost every Western therapist ignores. It feels deeply uncomfortable at first, but the rule is very simple. You are responsible for managing your own emotions, not your partner. And in the West, we low-key turned love into emotional outsourcing. If I feel bad, you need to fix it. That mindset might sound romantic, but it turns your relationship into a customer support ticket. In Japanese relationship culture, the energy is flipped. Your partner supports you. They do not regulate you. No emotional dumping, no constant reassurance. There's no making them responsible for your inner world. It feels uncomfortable because it removes the blame. Now you can't throw your storm at somebody and call it intimacy. I wish I understood this before my marriage failed, because I thought love meant that we merged. I didn't realize love also means you keep your own system intact. Listen, stable love isn't louder, it's calmer. And it starts when two people stop demanding regulation, because the fastest way to kill romance is turning your partner into your therapist.
Well, that's it for today, my friend. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. And if no one has told you, you are a very important person. You are a valuable piece to this puzzle we call life. And I am honored to have you here with me today. So you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.